Happy holidays. Okay, I'd like to call to order the Pasco County Board of County Commission 10 o'clock meeting for December 9th, 2025. At this time, silence all electronic devices and mute your microphones, and we will rise for the invocation and the pledge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas to you all, in case I don't see you between now and then. And thank you for allowing me to be here and to serve you all. Let's pray. Oh, Father, we have come together again for another important meeting and another full agenda, Lord. And yet we have come together at a time that there are so many distractions with the holidays quickly approaching, all the distractions of the things that we still need to do and prepare and all of those things, Lord. And so we ask that in our time together today that you help us to set those concerns aside and give us the ability to focus on the agenda at hand so we're able to go through the agenda and successfully complete it as we need to, Lord. And as we've gathered today, we want to lift up a couple families, Lord. We want to lift up the family of Jesse Cass, who is one of our volunteer firefighters. We thank you for his service, and we just ask that you surround his family with your arms of love and comfort, particularly during the Christmas season. We also want to lift up the family of Michael Koniarski, who is one of our HR employees, Lord. And I ask the same for them, that you'll just encircle them with your arms of love and comfort and just give them the ability to go through the holidays with fond memories of their loved ones, Lord. So be with us now and during this time and prepare us for Christmas, that it'll truly be a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we will always be reminded of the true reason for the season. So thank you, Lord, for being with us today, and I lift this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Before we start today's meeting, I just want to take a moment of silence for former Commissioner Ann Hildebrand, whose district actually I sit in now, and who was a mentor and a friend for many years. I think she served 29 years as county commission. I believe she was the first Republican woman elected in Pasco County.
I think.
And so for all, please, a moment of silence to remember Commissioner Hildebrand. Thank you. Okay, today's a special meeting. Today we do our reorganization, and so I'm going to hand the gavel over to our clerk.
Do we need to do roll call first?
Oh,
Yes, please.
okay, do roll call.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Present.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Here.
And I'll
Okay, and here you
gladly take that.
There you go.
You have the gavel, you have the power. I will open up the floor for nominations for Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. Is there-
Oakley.
I nominate Commissioner Mariano.
Okay, we have a nomination.
Okay, second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for Chair? Hearing none, I will close nominations, and no vote is needed. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Chair.
Okay, what is all this?
Wait, I need to make it official. Hold on. Now.
It's like a shotgun blast.
Nope. Yeah. I'm the swing person. Sometimes I'm here and sometimes.
Have fun, Commissioner Yeager.
Hey.
Exactly. Well, thank my board members. Appreciate their recognition and the opportunity to be chairman.
And
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chairman Mayor. And thank you, Chair Starkey, for this last year as chairman.
Thank you. I enjoyed it very much, and I hope everyone
And
had
exciting.
a good year.
Okay, nomination now in order for the vice chair.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Waitman for vice chair.
Second.
We got a nomination. We got 2 seconds and all good. Any other further nominations? All in favor for Commissioner Waitman, vice chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you, team.
Oh,
We've had a second vice chair to their
Oh, yeah.
roles, so.
this needs
Okay, so we need a second vice chair.
Move for Commissioner Yeager for second vice chair.
Second. Any other further nominations? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 So, Chairman Mayor, so what I learned recently with the second vice chair role, Commissioner Yeager, is if the chair and vice chair are gone, you have delegation of signing authority. So you may get sporadic phone calls saying, quick, from the clerk, can you come to the office to sign paperwork? So it actually has a little something to it. So, anyway.
Okay. All right, now is the time for public comment. Citizens given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item coming before the board or any other business under the board's purview. Would anyone like to speak?
So,
have a
Mr.
list?
Chair, I do have 3 individuals signed up. One is for a resolution that's on consent. Do we want to pull that resolution during resolution time, or would you like to do that now?
Let's pull the resolution.
Okay, so do we want it for the resolution, or do you want to do it now?
We,
Might as well do it during the public comment, I would think.
we could pull it. I'm sure the board members have
During consent?
something to say.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Do
could
you want
wait
to
on
do it full
consent.
during consent? Okay.
This needs to
All right.
be by the mic.
Then the first person that I have is Alan Rose, followed by, I think it's Lalia Cluis? Could have gotten that wrong.
Good morning, Alan Rose, 10221 Hilltop Drive, Newport Richey. Today, I'm just bringing more information forward about our waterways. This is mainly on stormwater flooding and public health issues. Right now, I'm following through with this because of what I experienced last year. Mosquito control benefit, public health will benefit. Right now, engineering, for when we do rezoning and bring all this new construction up into our area, the engineers bring forward their designs, they bring forward their retention ponds and everything else that's required because it's over an impaired basin and what have you. But what they don't tell you is that's not addressing a flooding issue. It's not addressing the water flow. And that's what's caused, I watched this, and that's why I had to go digging. I went to DEP, and I went to SwiftMud to figure this all out. And then I was directed back to locals, and locals will tell you they have engineers handling stormwater for their rezoning development, and the engineers do a great job. It's beautiful designs with retention ponds and everything else. They handle pollution issues so well, yet they do not address the flow of water, which is not addressed, causing upstream flooding and many other issues. They do comply with the EP needs, yet cause many flooding issues. And I personally watched this last year as I watched Rocky Sink flow backwards and flood up into my neighborhood. And it was going to get worse and worse. There's more development scheduled, and it's been approved on Ridge Road, and that's going to cause more flooding upstream. Just wanted to bring that forward to you. These are things we should be aware of, because I didn't know. And you're thinking, you see these retention ponds and all of this approval that's gone through, it's approval for pollution, it's approval for DEP. It's not approval for your flooding. So you're going to gain flooding as you rezone and harden the surrounding areas. Just wanted to bring that to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Lalia Cluis, is that correct? I do see that the item that you're here to speak on will be pulled during consent.
Doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
That would be
it
the
won't
only
be.
time they'd have the opportunity to
Okay.
speak is now.
Yeah. If I get another copy of that consent, of the consent agenda polls? Mine is like over there, I think.
Yeah, I took all my papers.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Claude Logan, and my address is 1716 West Lemon Street in Tampa, Florida. And we are here for there's an agenda memorandum for Logan Outdoor Advertising regarding conversion to digital. And I just wanted to make some comments regarding the addenda memorandum. To date, 3 outdoor advertising companies have entered into the relocation and reconstruction agreement for quote-unquote conversion to digital for a total of 106 bulletins. We're wondering if we are held to a higher standard of scrutiny because all of the 106 static bulletins from the 3 companies, and were they sufficiently investigated regarding the legal status as to whether or not each was not subject to removal by other means. Following the pre-application meeting required, were all 3 companies deferred 9 months for required Board of County Commissioner public meeting to consider application for a relocation and construction agreement. We feel like we've been held to a higher standard because the other companies that I inquired with were not. We don't know why we were deferred, but the intent of the ordinance is to ultimately reduce the total number of billboard bulletins in Pasco County. If you now today approve our request, this will remove a total of 6 bulletins. What the memorandum discussed, the agenda memorandum discussed, was the bottom 50% of the requirement, which is 3 bulletins. We have to add at our expense 3. We have to remove 3 additional bulletins. So if you approve this today, you will be approving for the removal of 6 bulletins in accordance with the ordinance without any further compliance issues and any lingering remaining legal controversy. It'll all be over.
We did everything by.
You know, we've done everything that we were required to do. We don't know why we've been perplexed as to why this has been delayed. Was that 3 minutes? Okay.
Okay, thank you. We don't comment during public comment, but I will tell you, I will keep the item. I was going to pull it. I was going to not pull it because I was happy with the explanation, but so you can hear the explanation, I'll pull the item so you can hear at least the explanation. You won't be able to comment on it, but you can hear it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity.
We have David Lambert and John McCarthy.
Oh, boy.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have Ricky Goody, our District Manager in One Pasco, with us as well today. The co-op returned a historic $24 million in capital credits to our members this year, and the county's portion of it, as you can see, is $370,822. As your not-for-profit electric co-op, we work every day tirelessly to invest in our communities, and we also operate at an at-cost basis, and this represents your pro rata share of our margins, and we just want to thank you all for working with us. We want to thank the county staff. We work very well with those folks too, and it's just a great partnership. And as we continue to work to control costs and expand with our growing counties, we will continue to keep our eye on every cost that we possibly can to bring the best, safest, most reliable power that we can provide. So I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a great Happy New Year as well.
Well,
John?
let's say Merry Christmas. Let's go to the board members. Ms. Rokley?
We certainly appreciate this, and a growing county like Pasco County is, and your district had began, because of the rural nature of it, has actually grown more than other areas all over Florida and around the Tampa Bay area. But we certainly appreciate all the work that y'all do to support us and what we got going on here in Pasco County, and actually been a step ahead of the new developments and all that are happening in our area, and you've been ready once it gets approved to go forward. So thank you very much for that.
Commissioner Waitman?
Thank you. Well, Andy Taylor's here with Tico. What are you doing today? What's Tico doing today, Mr. Taylor?
He's going to let you.
Welcome to the fine show that the Withcooch River Electric is putting on for us. I couldn't help myself. But no, seriously, couldn't have a better community partner in the co-op than what you guys do, not just returning money, but the jobs that you provide, the vision that you have for our county, helping others in places that you don't have to. Just, you guys are second to none. It's always an honor to have you come before the board, whether it's giving us $370,000+ or just to come and talk to us. So thank you for coming here today.
Thank you.
Mr. Starkey?
Well, yesterday was a wonderful day, so thank you so much for that when we cut the ribbon on our new Veterans Village. But I also want to thank Withlacoochee, listen up, Tico, for being a sponsor of our first Miles That Matter for All Children's Hospital. We are so excited that they are bringing a children's hospital to Pasco County in this part of Florida. And this is our first fundraiser for all children's in the county, and I'm just so grateful that you're one of our sponsors, so thank you very much. I'm going to be walking it with my dog. Feel free to come out and join me.
Commissioner Yeager?
You can also walk. You don't have to run.
Well, whenever I see a veteran project or something great in the community, your name is attached to it. So just thank you for being a blessing to Pasco. You guys truly are the hands and feet.
Thank you.
I'll just say we are blessed in Pasco County with Withlacoochee Electric. You guys are the best cooperative on the planet. What you do for the community, your business friendliness, and your acumen to save your company, save your customers money has been phenomenal. And I think it's such a warm-hearted thing at this time of year to actually help the people that have these electric bills that pretty much don't have to pay them, get their credit as well. It just makes the season that much better for everybody. So thank you for all the great work you do.
Thank you, Commissioner. We greatly appreciate it.
With that, let's all go down and take a picture.
Yep.
All right. You go. No, you go. You and Ricky.
Andy's sitting here second row.
That's right.
Yep, there we go.
All right, ready? All right.
Okay. Is there any other public comment?
I have no one else signed up,
Andy's on there.
but we're going to pull yours?
I'm going to pull C2.
Okay.
There
So
was
it-
someone online on my sheet. Is it not online?
For public comment?
Yes, a
Is
lady.
there anyone on?
A Meadow.
No one is on.
Not on?
But we can call up Andy Taylor. He did sign up, but he had signed up, but he has comments.
Okay.
Do you have a check with you?
A sponsorship form?
No, I was,
I'm sorry.
Andy Taylor, Tampa Electric Company. I was coming up here to thank you all and thank Commissioner Waitman, but I think that just changed my entire remarks. 14520 5th Street, Dade City, for the record, Tampa Electric Company. I'm here about C2, and Madam Clerk, I'm fine leaving it on consent. It's the resolution for Jimmy Adcock. Recognizing his retirement, I think you all know him. He is retiring. He had my role with the company for 14 years, spent the last 2.5 making sure I didn't screw up. That resolution, if you read your packet, goes into a lot of our nonprofit support, such as the Dade City Police Foundation. Jimmy and Tico was one of the first donors to that when they started that in 2018. We support Sunrise, their peace breakfast. Last week, we work closely with Lacucci. We both support Sunrise. Last week at the peace breakfast in East Pasco, I was at table number 1 sitting with Kelly Sin and the keynote speaker. We do that. Jimmy's worked 43 years for the company. Started as a meter reader, worked his way up to the director of regional affairs. So he did not want a presentation. I was going to thank Commissioner Waitman, but I'm not so sure anymore. And thank you all for signing that. And, we support a lot, and there's more in that resolution you can read in your packet of what we've done with our nonprofit partners in the community and what Jimmy's done over the years. But happy to be here, say thank you for that, I think. And happy to be here, and just on a personal note, happy to be here for Mike Shoemate's retirement as well today. He was a good friend that I worked with, is a good friend I worked with closely over the years when I worked with the county as well. And again, Madam Clerk, I'm fine leaving that on consent. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Andy, Merry Christmas, and thanks for all the Tico does, too.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, someone.
Oh, man.
It's fun.
It's still a good one, Seth. All right, so we're going to go to the consent agenda. Items I have scheduled for pull are C46, which is a withdrawal, C8, C32, C60, and C68. Are there any other items to be pulled? Okay, with that, can I have a motion for approval?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So C8, we're going to have a discussion on that. This is something I was going to pull, but I did have a good conversation with Ms. Blair. Ms. Blair, I didn't have a chance to do it earlier, but I was happy with the explanation. So if you want to kind of describe what we talked about and
Sure,
where
absolutely.
we stand.
Elizabeth Blair, Pasco County Attorney's Office. What's before you is a request from Logan Outdoor for a conversion of static billboards for the ability to have digital display. The county's program, established in 2017, was set up for a certain number of billboards to come down in exchange for the ability to convert. You've entered into numerous agreements since then to take down billboards. The 3 other companies that you've negotiated with have all taken down static face billboards that were not slatted for some other form of removal. They weren't taken down by hurricanes. They were billboards purely located throughout the county. They wanted to exchange for digital conversion. Unfortunately, the request right now that's in front of you is for using some billboards that aren't having to come down and some that are already required to come down. Currently, there's a site plan and planning and development right now, which is attached to your memo, that shows that we have billboards on this particular piece of property that already have to come down. So under the terms of the Land Development Code and consistency with prior agreements, those billboards can't be counted as part of the removal ratio. They can choose other billboards they own elsewhere in the county, which they do own other billboards, and put that together as part of their package. And if they submit a new application set up like that, I will certainly be able to bring that to you and show it to you as being consistent with the Land Development Code and other agreements.
So Elizabeth, I appreciate that. And again, it basically is this not going to get credit for billboards that have to come down.
Correct.
What I wouldn't mind doing is having a future conversation, like we talked about when we had our hurricane workshop. If they want to look at some things that are on 19, we can replace some of that on 18 for the digital billboards. So when there is a hurricane, we can do it for awareness and warnings. Happy to sit down and have that conversation.
Sounds good.
So I'm happy with the item.
Move to
I pulled it.
approve C8.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And item C32. I just wanted to highlight this because, years ago, we talked about how much blight was actually out there in Port Richey, New Port Richey. these checks that we've got to come out of our budget that would be spread around the county, which at these times we need to take a look at. I don't know if the board has a will to actually go look at these blighted areas to see if they should be, keep coming there and put some pressure to get that lighted up. You know, Zephyr Hills, Dade City, very little. So I don't know if there's any appetite for the board to take a closer look at that for the future.
I mean, I think we should always take a look under the hood.
Okay.
Thanks for being on time, Mike.
Do we,
Commissioner Starkey?
do we get an annual update of what they've done with the money? Do we, the board? I would love to know what projects they're working on.
Maybe we could put a request in and have an ask
Yeah.
for a presentation.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that, or should we just?
Move to
Also-
approve.
I can ask.
Yeah.
All right, he'll do the ask.
Have to provide reports to
All right. And we have a motion to approve C-32.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Kind of good. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I said it, but I did say it loudly.
Sorry. And now we'll go to C-60. I pulled this one just to have a discussion about the cost that we have for every project that we approve. I don't want to change what we've got because the timing of this needs to continue forward. The research you've done is great, but I know we had some things with the Restart Committee. We looked at closely how much money it took to administrate some of those projects, and that's what kind of changed some of the things we were looking at doing. And I'm just wondering, how much does it take to do these smaller grants or the bigger grants? And if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
The administration, Mary Theory on Community Development, the administration of the grant, regardless of the award, it takes the same amount of time to administer the grants. We're still reviewing all invoices, we're reviewing everything that's submitted for the grant before we approve for reimbursement. So it doesn't matter if it's a $25,000 grant or if it's a $500,000 grant. The administration is pretty much the same regardless.
So if we're going to get our best bang for the buck and reduce administration costs, bigger projects are a better value-wise than the smaller projects.
Depending on the project, yes. Some of these service projects are the smaller value projects because we're limited by our funding source on how much we can allocate for services.
Okay. So again, I don't want to change what we have now, but I just want to bring that awareness up. Maybe for next year, you can kind of factor that in.
Absolutely. I hear your concerns, and we will look at that and come back with a resolution.
Okay, thank you.
No, I-
Move approval.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
All right. Do I have a second over there first? Okay.
I have a second.
Okay. And Commissioner
Okay,
Starkey?
in discussion. Kind of like with our housing authority, I heard recently that it's possible that we're bringing in people who aren't Pasco residents to some of our shelters. And knowing the great need that we have here, unless it's a dire circumstance, and I know one where we had a woman who was at Metropolitan Ministries, and she was a victim of domestic violence, and her perpetrator found out where she was, and they had to move her out of the county. But I want to be sure that all the support we're giving to our homeless nonprofits, that we're focusing on our Pasco County residents first. I just want to say that.
Excellent. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
And C-68, Mike Arbella.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We had some, I'm going to ask Chuck Lane. Going to ask Chuck to come up to speak a little bit about one of the elements of our Better Futures program. So item C-68 has a number of policies in them, but specific policy regarding mortgages and the protection of the money has come up in conversations, and so I felt it was prudent to have this conversation with the board. I'm going to let Chuck kind of describe into the details and what it is that we would like to get guidance on and make sure that the board is comfortable with what we're proposing moving forward.
Thank you. Chuck Lane, Director, Office of Disaster Recovery Resources. So staff is requesting policy direction regarding a component of the policies and procedures for the individual housing program. As written, policies require the household to live in the home for 3 years following construction, and a mortgage will be used to protect the county's interest. There are different circumstances that trigger these requirements, but for projects north of $50,000, the policies require a mortgage and a 3-year residency requirement. So it's important to understand that we may have rare circumstances where we discover a fraudulent application after funds have been dispersed, or we may find that there's been a duplication of benefits. Under either case, we may be required to pay the funds back to HUD. A mortgage is the most effective instrument to ensure we can recapture those funds from the homeowner with reliability and with minimal cost. Depending on the board's risk tolerance, you may wish to leave this policy as is, or you may wish to make changes. Landlords have more stringent rules required by HUD, and we will follow those rules. We're asking you to weigh in on the requirements for homeowners only. So what you see on the screen here, this is information we gathered from other disaster recovery programs in Florida. You can see that 5 of 9 have a residency requirement or a compliance period, same thing. But only Lee County requires a mortgage. A more common practice to enforce the residency requirement is to incorporate the requirement into a grant agreement, and then staff thereafter will monitor to make sure the rules are being followed. This is information from policies from organizations outside of Florida. You can see it's pretty much about the same percentage of those that require residency requirements and those that do not. So we're asking for your approval of the policies and procedures today. Any delay would cause us to delay our individual housing program, whether you would approve as is or as amended. So I'm here to answer any questions as you talk through this. Tim Lagudi, who is the program manager on the IEM side, our consultant for this program. He's also available for comment. Tim, please confirm that you're available. He is online. He's not feeling.
Good morning. I'm here.
If we could, Chuck, Tim, would you explain, we talked on a conference call yesterday about the risk that's really involved here, and you went through the situation in New York and how that played out as far as what the expenses really were compared to what the risk really was.
Sure. So the risk is minimal. As Chuck mentioned, the 2 risks that you have with applications are predominantly related to information or misinformation that's been given by the applicant and duplication of benefits. One of the backstops that we have on duplication of benefits is typically the third-party data sets that we receive from FEMA, the Small Business Administration, and the National Flood Insurance Program. Because of the government, we're working to try and get that information as quickly as possible. But our program works off of documentation that is submitted by applicants. And so there's a very thorough review of their application, their income, and their duplication of benefits. For instances where we did need to recapture funds in New York, we worked with the state of New York to develop a policy, and we were able to reach out to those applicants to obtain any funds that were paid in excess of what their award should be. So we do feel that the risk is low here.
I have a comment or a question.
Commissioner Yeager.
So being a flood victim myself, I just want to throw this out there. So if let's say, I'm not me, but let's say you take the money, right? And in a year and a half, you say, I want to move, I want to get out of the flood zone. I can't afford to absorb another hit like this. Are you locked in for those 3 years to stay in that home?
Well, the way the policy is written now, it requires the 3-year residency, right, requirement. We will have carve-outs in there for hardships and discretion of the county in order to waive that requirement.
Okay. Me personally, I'm not for the 3 years. So I feel like if a family says, you know, I want to better myself, I want to get out of a flood zone, that they should be able to do that within 3 years and not have the government telling them they could do that. So.
I'll say, Commissioner Yeager, I did the same conversation from the get-go. You could have different life situations going on, and the great thing about this program, it's disaster recovery. So we're improving our housing stock every situation that goes on, and those people can be bound by flood insurance requirements, et cetera. And maybe they find life changes.
Yep.
Jobs happen, kids move, you go follow the kids, whatever may happen, I don't want to keep anybody from going away. If they're following the rules, they're improving their home, which is substantial, it's going to make it better for Pasco County residents that may come in there later on anyway. So we're minimizing flood risk. We're giving people an opportunity to recoup, and the federal government wants the recovery. I agree with you. If someone wants to go the next day, I don't care. Any other thoughts? Mr. Waitman?
Not big on copying New York over anything.
Then you're in favor of a mortgage, I understand.
So, just figure, it's been a fun morning so far. No, I mean, look, this is our money that the feds released to us, and, you know, it should be put back in the hands of the taxpayer and be put to work sooner than later. So, you know, the more flexibility we have, should probably do that, since the time has taken for 6 years. And if we run up against any challenges, is that the $32 million man coming from the speaker? The $32 million consulting firm that we've paid, I have full confidence that they'll figure it out for this county and for our customers.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
can. So, it's completely a policy decision for the board. But the board needs to be aware that if something goes wrong in the future, the county attorney's office is going to be hard pressed to litigate your way to getting the money back. It will probably be more expensive to litigate individual cases to get the money reimbursed without some sort of a document like a mortgage. But that's, you know, that's the board's choice, and your consultant has said the risk is low. Our job is to present those risks to you and have you make a business decision about it.
Sure.
Mr. Waitman?
County Attorney, so say something happened. We would have to pay, the county general fund would have to pay that fund back, pay back that portion of the money, or what are what's the penalty?
That's my concern, is if in fact you have funded a duplicative, they received money through the feds, through flood insurance or whatever, they also received money for that same damage from this pot of money, it's likely that if that surfaces, the feds will ask for that money back from you all, and the only pot of money you have at that point in time would be the general revenue. Mr. Lane can correct me if I'm off base.
That's correct.
And there is a form that these people sign that says clearly, this is the money we're getting, and they understand it's a violation of law if found that they're lied on the application.
Yes, we have a grant agreement with each homeowner.
And these people could go to jail if they
Yeah.
fraudulently did an application and found guilty.
I don't know jail, but it is a crime.
Okay,
Sure.
yes.
So would if that's the case, and say that scenario were to happen, would the county file a lien against the property and recoup what the taxpayer's having to fund up front? And then if that property is sold, then we would just capture and pay back the general fund, pay back the taxpayer for that situation?
No, sir, you wouldn't have the
there's
ability
no
to-
collateral?
You wouldn't be, that's what the mortgage document was for.
Well, yes, but I didn't know if there was other forms of collateral that
So,
we could use.
so the scenario that we've just discussed would be a crime. That would be up to the state attorney to prosecute. That would not, in and of itself, you might get restitution out of that criminal proceeding, but it would not allow you to put a lien on the property.
I have a question. Is there a database where you can check with FEMA and all these other organizations, like where they all talk? So you
We
know
do
that
get
person?
data sets from FEMA. We're working on the latest data set right now. But we do get information that we can look at, and we can cross-check what residents have told us.
Okay. And when they said the percentage was low in these other states where there's no compliance, what has been the percentage of cases that need to be litigated?
Tim, can you speak to that?
So that is not publicly available information. I know that there were a handful in the state of New York that required litigation, but most often when we reached out as a program to go and recollect those funds before it even got to the litigation step, the very strong majority of those applicants either paid it back in full or were able to enter into a payment plan to pay back those funds.
That was my thought too. I mean, like if they're going to perjure themselves, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure that penalty would be going to, I mean, it's a criminal offense. So I'm fine with what we spoke about.
I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah, I don't need a mortgage. Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you. So, what approximate dollar amounts at risk here? Do we have an idea about the approximate dollar amount would be at risk if we did this?
Well,
comparatively to the $600 million?
The maximum we could spend on one project is $330,000 for a replacement of a home and an additional $100,000 to elevate it. That would be the maximum we could spend on any project. The average across the board will be much lower than that.
So 450 on the high end times how many? What's your estimate? Didn't we, in the present, 250 houses?
Yeah, probably about 250 houses on the replacement side, perhaps. Yeah, that's a good guess.
Better at math than me. Calculator.
Commissioner Waitman, while you're calculating that, consider this. The average FEMA process was very small amounts of money. If anybody got a large chunk of money, pretty much that's going to come out, I would think, pretty quick. So we're really talking about small amounts of money, whether there's someone got $1,750, $700 for moving, maybe some rental reimbursement. We're not talking, I don't think, high dollar numbers here all the way through. And if you ever did get to that point, I don't think anybody's going to put themselves at a big risk coming up with, and especially if you get the data sets from FEMA, where the biggest chunk's going to be. And again, with Tim going through this up in New York and having just a handful of cases and every one of them resolving, I think everybody's going to get resolved pretty quick.
Yeah, the high end risk is seemingly just over 112 million. If you did 250 houses at 450 a pop.
That's if everyone committed fraud.
Yeah, it's.
And you could also, if the board desired, you could also set a threshold where at $150,000 would be the first thing that would kick in a mortgage, and then we'd do non-mortgages below that amount if you were worried about the big ticket. But that, again, policy decision for the board.
So right now, consensus shows at least two of us, Commissioner Yeager and myself.
I'm
We don't
with
want to
you.
see. You're with it too?
Yeah.
All right, so we got three that say we don't want it. What do you guys think?
It's a test bunny.
Yeah, I'll go with the majority.
Just a question. So we're putting at risk general fund dollars if we don't make them stay the 3 years? Is that what we're doing?
If you were required to pay the federal government back, so the federal government would have to come after the county for that money, and then you would be putting, the only pot of money you would have to pay the feds back would be general revenue.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's a good way to spend citizens' money that we have control over, because somebody defaults or lie to get on their application to cause that to happen. I don't think we ought to be spending that money down the road. They should be responsible for that.
No matter what would happen, we'd still have a battle, but you'd have people that would be criminally liable for anything found that they were wrong. I think, as Tim said, those people are going to probably resolve themselves rather than go through with it, whether it be payment or getting all the money up front. You've still got a strong form saying, this is what the law says, you're saying you didn't get the money, you sign that document. That's a pretty strong document not to go to jail over. I think most people, if they're really going to go that way, they're going to walk away from this rather than try to scam the government, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple out there, but for the dollars we're talking about, I don't think it's a huge risk. And again, I think Tim's resolution of the ones that were there, and that's a pretty big state up there in New York. If that worked up there and he's going to have the same type of leverage forms, I think we're in pretty good shape. a $32 million man. They want to make sure they're going to get this right. It doesn't look good on them if it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we have at least 3. Do we have 4?
I'll roll with
Commissioner Oakley?
No.
Okay. All right, so consensus says we have 4 that say no mortgage.
I'll update the policies to reflect that direction, and I'll ask the county attorney's office to review and approve.
Okay.
At any point, this thing gets a little squirrely, we can
Yes,
change
please
the
bring it back.
policy.
We can change the policies at any time.
All right.
And can you bring us the language prior to the next board meeting?
We need to implement, don't we?
We're implementing right now.
Okay.
I can bring it to the board as a follow-up, if you'd like. Again, we can amend these policies at any time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the verbiage is correct before we go to implement, so.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so with that noted change, you need a motion for approval? Is there anything else to discuss?
We need a motion?
If county attorney's okay with it, I mean, I would just say we will amend the policies per this board discussion, and you approve the policies, and we move forward with them.
All right, so can I have a motion for that?
Yep.
Second.
That's my motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, 4 to 1 passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Chuck, I want to just tell everybody here, if you, I'm sure we've all been to the meetings, but you are doing a phenomenal job communicating with the people, letting them know what's going on. I got great trust in you and Tim to continue a great job and help these people that are trying to recover back, and like a great full faith in you, and thanks for the great job you're doing.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate that.
All right. Are we doing the Michael Shoemate resolution?
Yes, resolution.
Okay. And is Michael Shoemate in the audience?
Oh,
There he is. You're hiding in there.
He was hiding. I didn't see him either. Aw, that's so nice.
Very nice.
Even Spencer came back.
Make sure he leaves.
Is he there? I don't see him. Oh, I see him.
All of you come up
He
with
got a
him.
big new job.
Even Spencer's in the house. This is like big.
It is.
This is the only people want to see you go? Is that the deal?
They're working hard.
All right, resolution, please.
All right. Resolution number 26-061, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, congratulating Michael Shoemate on his retirement and commending his outstanding service to the citizens and animals of Pasco County. Whereas Michael Shoemate has served the Pasco County Animal Services, PCAS, Department with distinction for 12 years, demonstrating visionary leadership, unwavering dedication, and a deep commitment to animal welfare. And whereas under Mr. Shoemate's leadership, PCAS has achieved and sustained a live release rate of over 90% since 2019, reflecting his team's tireless pursuit of adoptions, rescues, and other life-saving outcomes. And whereas Mr. Shoemate spearheaded numerous initiatives and life-saving programs through progressive and driven focus on growing the organization through direct engagement with community stakeholders and raising the county's attention to the needs of the people and pets in Pasco County, such as enhancing the vaccination clinic to include heartworm preventative, flea and tick control, and other non-prescribed animal care items. And whereas as he led transformative shelter improvements such as new dog play yards, outdoor kennels, and volunteer walking path, a catio, is that out? A catio for community cats, upgraded cat kennels, perimeter fencing, dog kennels, soundproofing, and enhanced safety features for staff and officers. And whereas Mr. Shoemate established proactive policies, procedures, and premier standards with training manuals and evaluation guides for staff and volunteers. And whereas he secured over $600,000 in grants and donations from national organizations to support spay and neuter surgeries, vaccine clinics, disaster relief, and shelter enhancements. And whereas Mr. Shoemate cultivated partnerships with veterinary schools, technical colleges, and national organizations, hosted regional shelter director meetings, and led PCAS to receive Tier 1 designation in the Human Animal Support Services Initiative. And whereas he championed ordinance amendments to ban retail sales of dogs, cats, and rabbits and expanded PCAS's social media and bilingual outreach efforts to meet the needs of a growing and diverse community. And whereas Mr. Shumate oversaw the growth of the organization and the resources it provided to community, fostering a culture of inclusion, professionalism, and development, resulting in numerous certifications, degrees, and awards, including the 2021 National Animal Care and Control Association Agency of the Year Award. And whereas Mr. Shumate's leadership earned 2 International Points of Light Service Enterprise Awards, 15 Florida Animal Protection and Advocacy Association Awards, and 5 National Animal Care and Control Association Awards, including Animal Control Officer of the Year, Leader of the Year, and the prestigious Bill Liam Memorial Award. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby congratulates Michael Shumate on his retirement and commends him for his exemplary service, leadership, and dedication to the animals and citizens of Pasco County. His contributions have led an indelible mark on the community and will be remembered with gratitude and admiration. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of December, 2025.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Oakley?
Yes, sir. Mike, it's been a while, but I think you're too young to be retiring. Keep you on. I know we had a commissioner come out of Citrus County one time. I met him over there to go through the facilities that you made in Pasco County and all the changes that had been made. They actually are right at putting that new system and building it all in Citrus County because of the good work they saw here in Pasco, because of what you've done while you've been here. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you did for us.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Waitman?
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations. I always wonder if I'll ever get to retire one of these days, and when I see him, I'm a bit envious, but no, something tells me you're not going to be sitting on the sidelines too long. I see Spencer back there grinning and probably looking at poaching a few of our teammates there, just so we're watching Spencer. No, congratulations on all the great work in your team. You always, you've always advocated for your team, and for you all out of here, I'm sure you know that you had a fantastic leader in Mike, and you couldn't left the department in any better shape. So it's a testament to you and your work and dedication here to the animals of Pasco and the citizens of Pasco County. So well deserved, and congratulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Starkey?
Wow, it seems like you just got here. But hate to see you go, but what an accomplishment you have achieved, and you're leaving a great legacy. I'm sorry we didn't get that building yet, but we're working on it. And just great luck in your next endeavor and retirement or whatever your next plans are. Thanks so much for serving us so well.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Yeager?
Good. Well, congratulations on your retirement. Thank you to your service for Pasco County. And I'm sure you're going to come back and visit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and bring dog treats. And I was so impressed when I saw the facility. I'm like, those dogs and cats are so spoiled there. And I always tell people, if they say anything, I'm like, go take a tour. I mean, who gets frozen peanut butter and all these treats all these times a day? What you guys do there is very impressive. So
Thank you.
congratulations.
Mike, I tell you, your leadership through the years has been absolutely phenomenal. We had some very strong animal groups out there that were not happy with some of the things that were going on, et cetera, and the way you righted that ship was just absolutely amazing. We had probably a couple of years, we had calls and calls and calls, and to what you've done now and the team you put together, even though you lost Spencer, I don't know what happened there. I know, congratulations, Spencer. But really, Mike, what you've done with the people there, I mean, I just can't be thankful enough, and I know the people are too, and you've earned your retirement, so I want you to go enjoy it and have a great time.
Thank you.
Mike Carbella?
Yeah, thank you. And Mike, if I could just pile on to the accolades, I just want to thank you for really embracing that leadership philosophy of people, purpose, and performance. I know the people mean a lot. I know the animals mean a lot, but we know that through the people, you're accomplishing the mission. So you've led this department and have laid a fantastic foundation, and just proud of the time I've been able to work with you. I know I've learned a lot since being in this role, but even prior to that. So you've done a lot, and we just thank you for that and wish you the best in retirement. Thank you.
And Kathy?
Come on up here. Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator, Public Services. Wow, this is, I'm a little emotional here because Mike has been by my side since I got here. And you're right, Commissioner Mariano, it was very, very challenging when we got here. Commissioner Starkey, you know that too. And with Mike's leadership, he has turned this challenging animal services into one of the most award-winning animal services. And I can thank him from the bottom of my heart with that. And it was truly his leadership. He loves his job. He loves his family. He talks about his family all the time. He loves his work family. He protects them all the time. Believe me, I've been in battles with him on that. So, and he, unbelievable when it comes to budgets and writing awards and giving kudos to where it needs to be. And I can tell you, each of my directors, we have learned something special from this man. And I'm proud to call him my friend still, too. And I just want to share with you a story that I think really sums up who Mike is. And it was a few years down the line, and we were, he was really working on getting the reputation and all that back. And he says, geez, I just can't keep employees for some reason. And he said, let me share this with you. He said, I had to change my philosophy. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I'd be in the interviews and I'd ask these folks, do you love animals? And of course, they love animals. He said, but they didn't love people. So he said, you have to love people to be in this job. And so he changed his whole philosophy, and now he asks people, do you love people? And that, to me, stuck with me, and I use that in all my interviews now, because the people are the ones that adopt the animals, right? So, Mike, this sums it up for me. Ronald Reagan quote is, the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does great things. A leader is the one who gets the people to do great things, and that's what you have done. And from the bottom of my heart, we're going to miss you so much. But I know he's already told me he wants to volunteer at Parks and Rec and ride the lawnmower. So, yeah. So, Mike, congratulations. And the floor is yours, my friend.
Hi, Mike.
Well, hope I've got a voice here. First, let me just say that I've been very blessed. God's been good to me. When I first got here, there was a lot to overcome, and I sent up a lot of prayers and got a lot of good answers and a lot of good support. So I praise God for that. It's been my honor to serve this commission, the people of Pasco County. It's been a great privilege to serve with so many people who dedicated themselves to animal welfare out there and helped us along. One of the great supports we've had is from our Friends of Animal Services group. Michael Cox, Darlene Green are here today representing them, and I appreciate them being here, but they funded us and pulled us out of a lot of good things, that we could afford to make improvements out at the shelter when we couldn't get grants. We had, tight budgets. It was difficult, but they always came through for us, and I so much appreciated their friendship, encouragement, and I do want to say that, for all the times that I've came before the board, you have all been very supportive and just a lot of encouragement, not just for me, but for my team, when you support us for various things. Kathy has been absolutely great to work with. Been with her 11 years. Talk about work family. The other directors in the Public Services branch, we are like family. We went out the other day and almost killed each other, but we have an annual outing. We played paintball this time.
How fun.
I think I'm just able to walk again today, so, but it's been great working with all of them.
Got a lot of welts on.
And I've appreciated that. I got my family here with me, my wife Jeanette, daughter Liz, and daughter Laura. And I appreciate all the support that they've provided me over these 12 years. They've really been encouraging as well, and I appreciate that so much. I have Spencer here with me today, Spencer Conover, who was going to be my succession plan, but he had other plans, and I am very proud of him. He's now the Chief Operating Officer for the National Animal Care and Control Association.
Wow.
So Pasco, he's moved up to the national stage, and I know that he'll be an up-and-coming leader in animal welfare in this nation, so I'm very proud of him. And I really thank him for the 8 years he gave us here at Pasco. It was amazing. A lot of the things read on there, I attribute to his leadership as well. And quick story on that, when I was interviewing for the job, he confessed to me that he got fired for being a poor leader at his last job. And I said, well, I'm not hiring you for your leadership right now. I said, we can train you here in Pasco for leadership because we have a pretty good leadership program in Pasco. And, but I wanted him for all his knowledge of the industry and all his connections that he had. And the fact that he had a degree in communications, and I did not like standing in front of the cameras anymore. So he was going to do that for me, and he did an outstanding job of it. And for all the people that work with me and for me at Animal Services, the managers I have out there are very professional. They're the top in this industry, and I appreciate them so much. They are family, and they've suffered through things with me, and we've laughed and loved and cared for a lot of animals out there. But for everybody, just thank you. It's been a great 12 years, and appreciate this recognition. Thank you.
Staff come up for the pictures too. Come on, team. Come on up for pictures.
You go down. Yeah.
And then if you, oh, please, no, okay.
Oh.
We'll do, no, you come up too. And then we'll get you guys.
Take a notice of
You know, I want a little more than we have.
I've been here since I've been here.
We need a little more.
Yeah,
Can I get some of you over here to go over here? Can I get like 2 more of you to come over here?
I'll never need to shift it back the other way.
All right, ready? 3, 2. You want me to just look at your Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I like it.
Hold on 1 sec. There you go.
Yep. Congrats, Mike.
I'd just like to say thank you for our Animal Services team. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Please keep up the great work you're doing. We appreciate you. Now we'll go to R76, confirmation. of commu-
75?
Do 75 first? Okay.
No, I prefer if we do R76 first.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to R76.
Sorry.
Confirmation of Community Development Director, Mary Thurick.
Yeah, I still got tears running down my eyes. Not because we want to. Thanks. Hold on, I gotta pull my agenda here. So Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator, and I am proud, very proud of Mary, who is hopefully going to be confirmed today by all of you as the permanent Director of Community Development. Mary has been with the county since 2020 and has just done about every job there is at Community Development. She really has. And she served as the Assistant Director for a very short time until we grabbed Chuck to become the disaster recovery. So that's why we have 2 interims today. So with that said, Mary is has a bachelor's degree in business management and a master's degree in public administration from Hodges University in Fort Myers, Florida. She's been with the county for a long time and knows a lot of people, and so she's just a wonderful to work with, and she's a hoot, I'll tell you. She's a lot of fun to work with, and with that, I respectfully ask you all to confirm Miss Mary for the permanent position.
And Mary, if you would, please say your last name. I'll make sure I get it right. I know I got it wrong there.
Theory Young.
They're young?
Theory Young.
Oh, okay. No, very good. All right. Do we have a motion?
Absolutely, I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners, for your trust.
I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Pasco County is my home, and being able to work here is extremely important to me. And I am honored that you made me the Director of Community Development, and I can enforce our mission and continue to serve the citizens of Pasco County.
Well, you do a great job. Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Now we'll go back to, Mike, should we go back to R75 now?
Please, sir.
Okay, R75, confirmation of Animal Service Director, Gary Herrera.
I don't know, poor Gary, he's heard all those accolades from Mike. He's like probably shivering. I'm glad he's still here.
I guess you want to
So,
separate Mike and Gary there a little bit.
Chair, do we know
So
him?
we did a nationwide
know him?
search. We really did, and we were very lucky to find Gary Herrero. He comes to us from Sumter County. He's got a wealth of knowledge in animal services. He's been a K-9. He's with the Sheriff's Department for many years in K-9. And the fun fact, in his earlier days, you know, Medieval Manor, the jousters, he was one of them. So he knows all about the horses, too. So I think he's going to fit right into our culture. Gary holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from Columbia Southern University. And guess what? He just got his master's degree this week. So we're very proud of him on that. And I'm just so excited. I think this is what he said in the interview. He said, you know, coming to Pasco County is my NFL. We are the NFL guys, right? So that sold me right there. So Gary, hopefully the commissioner will respectfully, I'm asking your permission to please confirm Mr. Gary Herrera.
Okay.
Well, Chair, we've got to move up from paintball. Just saying, team, if you're sore from paintball. No, I'm just kidding. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
Yep. Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to stepping into the role of Animal Services Director. I'm looking forward to serving this community and keep supporting the staff, volunteers, rescue partners, and all the residents that care about the animals for this county. My commitment is very simple, and that's to keep on building to everything that this great man has built and to keep progressing the animal services industry forward. And most of all is to run an animal services that you guys and the Pasco County is proud of. So thank you for your trust, and I'm ready to get to work.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll go to R77, confirmation of Office of Disaster Recovery Resources Director, Charles Lane. Chuck.
It's Kathy Pearson again, Assistant County Administrator. Wow, what can I say about Chuck? Chuck is phenomenal. You said it, Commissioner Mariano. He always tries to get to yes. He hardly can ever say no unless it is a no. He has been a pleasure to work with. His ideas are off the charts. I'm just so excited that he has agreed to take on this position. And, you know, it's scary because it's only for 6 years, right? So, you know, he took a leap of faith and says, I'm going to make this happen. And, you know, Chuck has been in this business for over 10 years. He's got a bachelor's degree in business management as well as a master's from private college in Assumption University up in Massachusetts, my home state. So that's why he really got the job. No, I'm only kidding. But no, Chuck is phenomenal, and I think you've all seen it, and he's committed to make this disaster recovery the best it can be for our citizens. And you'll hear his report in a little bit. So with that, I respectfully ask you to confirm Chuck as the permanent Community Development Director. Office of Disaster Recovery. Thank you.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chuck, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I guess I don't have a cheering section like Mary did. This is an incredible opportunity. I mean, I knew this would come with an immense amount of work, but I'm dug in, I'm prepared, I'm willing to do what it takes, because we have an opportunity to really change lives in Pasco County with this money. So thank you for the opportunity.
Great job, Chuck.
Very good. And I'll tell you, my fellow commissioners, last week, or a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, we had a Sea Ranch meeting, and I got an email from them, and it kind of like showed that they wanted to get some more help and information. So, Jason had Barrett Doe come out, went on site, and Chuck was there the night, and gave him information, helped him out. So if you get like civic associations or whatever that need help and want special attention, Chuck will be there with the team and help every step of the way. And I appreciate that dedication. You're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Starkey.
And yeah, we're working on a date for the team to come out to Gulf Harbors. We only had one person there in Holiday, and so we'll see if there's any others that we can help. And of course, any other communities welcome to come when they're giving their presentation. But I think we have that date set. But thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right. Very good. Well, good luck, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Ready for my update?
Actually, let's get right to there. Quarterly update. Okay.
Okay. I have PowerPoint I want to run through with you. Chuck Lane, Director now, not Interim Director, Office of Disaster Recovery Resources. I'm joined again by Tim Lagudi. Tim, please confirm that you're plugged in.
I'm here, Chuck.
Tim's going to share in this presentation with me. As we said earlier, Tim represents IEM. They are our implementation vendor for this undertaking. So this would be my first quarterly update since moving to program implementation. I'd like to update you on the status of the Better Future program, and I'll ask Tim to provide details on the progress we've made with the individual housing program since we launched last Monday. On the screen, on the screen, you can see each program we plan to roll out, the amounts allocated to each program, and when we plan to begin receiving applications or accepting applications for each program. The allocation amounts were established in our action plan, which you approved earlier this year. As for program launch dates, HUD has asked us to focus on helping residents with housing needs and small businesses that have been impacted by the storm. The planning program will be an early launch as well, because we expect some planning studies to help set the table for projects in future phases. We'll launch infrastructure and mitigation in March, and we expect that round to be quite competitive. So as you know, my team has worked very hard to launch the individual housing program as soon as possible. We were targeted on a 12/1 launch, and we hit that date. I'm very proud of that. Earlier today, you approved the policies and procedures for that program. Over the next 2 months, staff will request board approval of policies and procedures for the remaining programs. Sorry about that. One of the reasons we were able to launch the individual housing program on time was because you all approved a contract for our system of record, Neighborly software. They're well suited for our program, and they were able to custom configure an application for our individual housing program in about 3 weeks, which was very impressive. So thanks to Neighborly, the efforts of my disaster recovery team and IEM were off to an excellent start. So our primary focus for the last month has been to get the individual housing program started. Our residents have waited a long time for this level of assistance. The screen shows the major activities under the individual housing program and the maximum financial investment under each activity. The maximum rehab cost for a traditionally built home, such as stick-built or concrete block, is $175,000 and $330,000 to replace a home. You can see the respective amounts for a manufactured home. Maximum reimbursement cost is $75,000 for a traditionally built home and $25,000 for a manufactured home. These amounts are life-changing for our residents. We've done a ton of community outreach. Our media relations and communication teams has worked overtime to get word out through a range of media opportunities. We hosted 6 public meetings across the county, and we're doing more as specific groups make requests, such as the event I was at with Commissioner Mariano. We're conducting mobile intake events right now. We have 3 more scheduled this week, including 2 today. We want to meet people where they are to help them complete applications in person. Applicants need to know they can complete applications online, in person at one of our intake events, or at our office located at 8239 Youth Lane. If someone has mobility issues and is not comfortable with the computer, we'll come to their home if we need to. If that's what it takes to get it done, we will do that. We want to make sure that no one misses this opportunity. It's just too important. As you know, we're required to spend 70% of the funds to help low to moderate income households. This means households earning no more than 80% of the area's median income. Those income limits vary by household size, and you can see them on the screen. Consistent feedback we heard at the public meetings is that the income limits are low. We were consistently asked if we could serve a higher income category. So our action plan allows us to serve households who earn up to 120% of area median income. And those income limits are now on the screen. We were initially planning to wait on that for a later phase. In response to the feedback, we will open up applications for a limited amount of funding on a first-come, first-served basis for those earning between 80 and 120% of area median income. For the higher income category, we will limit assistance to those that are still displaced from the storm. That will ensure that we're helping the hardest hit folks. So altogether, there's $205 million budgeted for the individual housing program, and of that, we will set aside $20 million for the higher income category.
Can I stop you for 1 second, Chuck?
Yeah, I have a question.
I just want to say, you know, with Chuck so involved, his team so involved, part of the reason this is coming forward is he looked and listened to what was going on in the meetings and some of the issues that were going on, and he developed something that should take care of a group of people, even though it was just one, but others are going to be set with this. So Chuck, thank you for responding and making something happen with this. That's a great move. Shows you're really paying attention to what's going on out there, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Starkey.
Might have been at the regional meeting with all the commissioners, which I had to zoom in after my other meetings. I heard that some of the other counties or cities have added other monies to the pot so that people with a higher income level can access some of this money. I don't know how that works. I don't know if we've looked at that, but I want to help as many people as possible, and so I'm very glad you've gone to this 120, but I just wonder if there's more we can do to help.
I'll monitor that as much as possible, and whatever we can bring to the table.
It was either, it might have been Pinellas County, might have been St. Petersburg.
I'll research
Someone
that.
did so, yeah.
Okay. So we're on our 9th day of accepting applications. As I said earlier, we're off to a strong start. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lagudi to give you a brief update on the activity that we've received so far. Tim?
Thanks, Chuck, and good morning again, Commissioners. Here's an update on how the community is engaging with the Pasco County Better Future Individual Housing Program. On the screen, you'll see our public response as of Monday, December 8th, around this time yesterday. At that time, we had 420 total applications in the system, with 316 started and 104 fully submitted. Our call center had already handled 251 calls with an average handling time just under 13 minutes. About 40% of those calls were for appointment scheduling. We've been holding mobile intake events around the county, 21% for application assistance, and 12% for eligibility questions, which tell us that residents are not only interested, but they're actively trying to move forward with the program. Since that snapshot, interest has continued to climb. We're actually at about 455 total applications with 128 submitted. So that growth demonstrates, strong demand for the program, and that our outreach and support channels are working. We can move on to the next slide. At a high level, the application process for the individual housing program is designed to be straightforward and supported by our case management and program staff. First, residents can start an application online or by calling the program's call center, where staff can also help schedule an in-person or virtual appointment if they prefer guided assistance from our case management team. We're also holding mobile outreach meetings around the county where we've held 100 meetings to date in our first 3 mobile intake meetings last week and yesterday. And we'll even go out to applicants' homes if they need additional assistance. Second, applicants work through the application, they upload or they bring their documents to a program office or a mobile intake location and receive help from staff as needed. The goal here is to remove barriers, whether that's technology or paperwork or simply understanding whether or not they're eligible for the program. Once that application is submitted, our team reviews it for eligibility and completeness. We assign a case manager, which is a one-to-one relationship between the resident and becomes their point of contact throughout the life of their application. They can follow up with any questions, and we move qualified applicants into the pipeline for funding and next steps on their housing improvements. Eligible applicants will move into the site assessment stage where we complete a damage assessment and an environmental review, which is required by HUD. Applicants who have construction or will have construction performed on their homes will move into the pre-construction meeting stage where residents are assigned a general contractor. They'll be able to select floor plans for mobile home replacements or for their reconstruction projects. And for any construction project, residents are also able to select any finishes for any of the work that's being completed. We then complete a final quality control review just to ensure that we have all of the documentation that's needed in place and that the award is calculated properly. If they are a reimbursement award, we then trigger the reimbursement, which will be a check or an ACH to that applicant if they've been confirmed for a reimbursement award. And then all other applicants who are having construction performed on their homes will move into the construction stage where the general contractor who's been assigned will complete any repair, reconstruction, replacement, or elevation that they've been deemed eligible for. And I will hand it back to Chuck.
I have a question. How do you select the mobile locations?
How do we select the mobile locations? The ones to be repaired, to be replaced?
No, I'm talking when you do mobile applications.
What we did was we used the same sites that we had the public meetings. We tried to keep it as consistent and as easy on the residents to remember as possible. So we went right back to those same locations where we had the 6 public meetings throughout the county.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So if you have, let's say, like some of the elderly, the mobile home parks that get hit hard, are you sending anybody in there to kind of get the word out?
We can, and we will when we need to. If we feel there's a need to do that, we absolutely will. Like I said, we'll go to people's homes if we have to help them fill out an application. We're not going to let anybody miss this opportunity because they can't use a computer or because they can't get up and go to a mobile site. We're going to make sure we capture everybody that we can.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, maybe if you, get a flyer or something, distribute it in the parks because they're,
Okay.
They're not very techy.
Okay.
So that's just a suggestion.
Okay, thank you for that.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Starkey.
What do we do? So I have a neighborhood that is a travel park, but people have turned their travel RVs into permanent structures. We're not investing in those, I would imagine.
We're not able to, no. The fund, that's not eligible for funds. I know the county is working on other means to try to work through some of those issues.
Yeah, but hope, maybe we can help those residents in another way, right?
Well,
We
part
can
of
put them
a
in
later
there.
phase is we're going to create housing, and then
Yeah.
maybe housing opportunities for folks to relocate.
Okay, but I just want to be sure we're not rebuilding travel trailers.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Not allowed.
Commissioner Waitman.
Chuck, to 2 things. To Commissioner Starkey's point, we boot those folks out. I mean, by the time we get to any kind of housing, those folks may have moved on or whatever. So, I mean, there's I think a bit of a sense of urgency on where they're going to go and how they're going to get there, not a couple years down the line. I don't know what the answer is, but that's just a concern.
Understood.
And then the other piece, if you go back 1 slide, please. What's your estimated timeline from a customer puts in an application to from the first green box to the last green box? What's your measurable? What's your goal on how quickly to process each case?
Well, certain projects are going to, with the repairs and rehabs, it really depends on the scope. and that's all there is to it. Some will be quick, and some will take up to 6 months to do that rehab, possibly. So the pre-construction timeline, we're probably looking at potentially 3 to 4, maybe 5 months construction thereafter. A rebuild is going to take 3 to 4 months. Again, the rehab projects it just depends on the scope. So Tim, do you want?
On our end, County Administrator, what processes can we put it on our place to help these folks, like move them out of our standards?
Yeah, I think the intent of the commissioner's question really is how, construction is what it is. What is the administrative and the permitting and those types of things, to get us to pre-construction and construction? And are we perhaps going to find ways to streamline through permitting? Do we have those things that we're thinking about?
Yes, I'm working closely with JP on the construction side of things. They're going to assign a plan reviewer for us. They're going to expedite these. I'm working very closely with the Construction Services Department so we can get through these as quickly as possible, find ways to get through them more quickly. So that is top of mind on this project.
Okay, thank you, Chuck.
Okay. All right.
Okay, just to wrap up, next steps, we're going to launch the planning program to include an innovative housing study. We've heard a lot of different types of housing, such as shipping containers, alternative construction, alternative materials for construction. We're going to ask Florida Housing to do a study for us and to guide us on how to best implement these innovative options. We'll launch a small business and nonprofit recovery program in late January, early February, with the remaining programs to follow by spring of 2026. That includes my update. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Chuck, I want to just throw one idea with your products, affordable items that could be used. There's a new, instead of a drywall board out there, there's a new magnesium board. Gentleman by the name of Chet Petinato, he's got a plant out in Zephyr Hills. He's using that, and it looks like it's a really good thing to take a look at. So it's very affordable as well, so maybe something to take a look at.
Yeah, we'll discuss that with our contractors.
All right. Any other questions for Chuck? Okay, I know we got a couple other presentations, so thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Okay, Mr. Bill Cronin, R73. Quarterly presentation.
Good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. You guys have had a real celebratory environment this morning. And first of all, let me say a couple of things. Congratulations on the passing of the gavel. Chairman Mariano, looking forward to working with you. Commissioner Starkey, thank you for your support over the last year, especially with international and all the stuff that we do, including the chicken ordinance. That shows some real perseverance there. And also special thanks to Commissioner Waitman as our liaison to the Pasco EDC over this last year. You had a couple resolutions earlier today. I wanted to comment, Mr. Mike Shumate also was involved with our international exchange of workforce, too. So that was something that touched multiple programs. And of course, Jimmy Adcock was a supporter of lots of different nonprofits in the area, but he served as chair of the Pasco EDC. And believe it or not, 10 years ago, he was the head of the selection committee that brought me here, almost 10 years to the day. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you can thank him for recruiting me here to Pasco County. And lastly, let me thank you for the approval of our new budget. This will be the last time I'll be presenting to you in two presentations, one with our MOU and one with our Penny for Pasco CFA. We now will be reporting under one structure under that Penny for Pasco contract. So everything that we do for you now will have a contractual obligation and metric aligned with it. You see our cover slide there. We did win some awards this year. We were lucky to have the county actually participate in the IEDC annual conference with us. So we've got some county staff as well as our own and the president of the International Economic Development Council with us for those awards. And that is our national accreditation agency. So here, this is the end of the year, Q4 that we're reporting on. We had 21 wins. That's really good sign of the barometer in terms of how we're doing and all the activities that we do that lead to those wins. And that's when companies say they're going to actually either expand or locate here. Some of the good stories in that number of 21 is 4 of those are direct recruitment domestically, 4 of those are international recruitment coming from abroad. 13 of those are local businesses expanding. And that says that we take care of the businesses that are here and that we continue to focus on the companies that brought us to the dance, that we continue to help them to grow. One of the other trends that we're seeing in here, not as positive, but it's real world, is that we're seeing less jobs and less capital investment per company win coming in. And I think what you're starting to see is the beginning of automation, AI, a consolidation in resources. Keep in mind, companies' goals is not to hire people. Companies' goals is to make lots of money and become profitable. So we need to find more ways to get more of our people employed and continue that prosperity that they get from having a good job here in Pasco. So we'll continue to focus on the metrics that work, that get those 21 wins, and increasing that over the next year so that we can get more jobs, since there's less jobs associated with each of the projects now. Also good news, still really heavy in advanced manufacturing. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Manufacturing tends to have other jobs, indirect jobs associated with manufacturing, not just the job in manufacturing. So there's suppliers, there's drivers, there's all kinds of things related to that. And of course, life sciences continues to grow in the process too, with the Spiros project and with Moffitt and what we're doing with the land there. We're going to continue to see those projects coming to us as well as us going out to them. Active leads, actually, those are current leads and current projects right now. Pipeline is still really good. 154 projects or leads in the system, 125 projects. I don't know, it's been about 2 years since we were operating at about the 30 project level. You remember me coming in saying an average year time was about 30 projects. We've been in triple digits now for almost 2 years of projects that are coming in. And visits, I mentioned before, taking care of existing business, still the most important thing that we do. We've had 80 visits out in the field and actually got one of our companies to take advantage of one of the training grants that were available. Remember, for about half the year, CareerSource didn't have grants available. The portal wasn't open, so we were able to get one in after that. And then when you look at the referrals to all the different workforce partners out there, you see 41 different referrals. That means making sure that our companies are getting services from either those federal or state-funded programs in workforce development. And we're the marketing for the business area. So $6.1 million in earned media, some really good coverage on lots of stories. Some interesting stories as well, too. You'll see the top headline, the UK defense firm that opened in Pasco County. That was one of those foreign direct investment projects. They actually came to us during SOCOM's SOF Week, Special Operations Forces Week. This was a company with some really cool technology that can use a lens from a distance to pick up fingerprints used in catastrophes. They started out investigating bombings, but they can also be used for law enforcement and, of course, for genetics as well, too. And they landed in our incubator. So that is one of our smart landing programs that they actually will be working out of our incubator. They are now a U.S. company. It allows them to do business with the U.S. military and local agencies here. Some other notable headlines I saw in there: Pasco turns sewage into gold with a new fertilizer plant. Many of you were out at the Merrill Brothers grand opening. They surprised us and hired probably about double what they thought they were going to, and they put a big investment there. So shout out to another one of our local companies getting traction in the news.
Chairman? How many years has we been partnering with Merrill?
Oh, since I've been here. So it's about 10 years that they've actually came to us. And originally, I think we were talking about some other materials other than the one we were just talking about, that had to do with stables and things like that, yeah.
They're probably, what, our longest standing, one of them so far?
As far as,
As far as, you know.
partnering?
Yeah, in the investment that we.
Especially for ag tech, yeah, yeah. I'd say you've got some others there that, I mean, Mettler's coming up on 10 years here as well, too. And of course, PAL Aerospace, some pretty big ones out there. But this one has a real grassroots feel to it, that it's people that we know. And
We should celebrate those milestones with those companies, because they didn't run. They started when times were tough, and
that's exactly right.
Let's just jump on Merrill for a second, too. Part of the reason, the impetus to drive that forward is we looked at how much money we're spending to send it, the limited space that was going to be available, the high cost was going to be. I had some fellow commissioners from St. John's that I had talked about this with before. They've been working with them and gave them referral, and I know at least one of them went to their site to go look at doing it. They've got a problem that's costing them a lot of money, so Merrill's doing a great job, and hopefully they'll keep it expanding, too.
And it's a good product, too. Doesn't hurt to have a good product.
That's beautiful.
We're getting a lot of hits, 19,000 page hits just in the fourth quarter this year. And what's always interesting is what they're looking at. They're looking at our sites. That means they're looking for a place to move their business, which is great. And where are they coming from? Georgia, New York, South Carolina, Texas, and Ohio. Commissioner Waiten, and that doesn't mean they're moving here from New York. They're looking from New York. So some really good companies that are coming out of there. And then 14,000 followers, considering we don't have dogs like the Sheriff's Department or Animal Services, that's a pretty good average to have following a business-related social media. That's our locals that are following our social media. Companies looking abroad aren't really looking at our social media. These are companies that want to know what services we provide and how we can help them. And a good degree of engagement, too. Almost 75% of that is engaged with us, meaning they're having conversations with us in the social media. Trade events, 86 year to date. Well, of course, that clock starts over with the new fiscal year. Presentations to industries and association, 27 to date. And we had 18 conferences that we represented in the community. Our private sector side, 92 total investors, 45 policy council members, that's the most we've ever had, and board members and policy council members together, $706,000 of private sector investment in the Pasco EDC this last year. And that includes both private donations as well as the events that we put on that we don't use tax dollars to fund. One new investor, CRNI as an accounting firm, and then some upcoming events for you all to take note of. We have our annual economic forecast, which is always a sellout in January coming up. We'll have a speaker from JP Morgan Chase, as well as an economist from the University of Tampa that will be featured for that event. That will be at the Hyatt. Also, our food vendor fair now is our 6th annual, and that's out at the Stalling Center at our food incubator. Bring your stretchy pants. That's a good time to sample all kinds of good things that they're making at the food incubator. Annual Net Fest, 27th annual Net Fest will happen in March this year. We will still have the chili cook-off, and it will probably be a little chilly in March, so we won't be sweating at times. So a little bit earlier this year. And then Grow Pasco also in March. Also 6th annual event will be at St. Leo, and that's an all-day event of different entrepreneurial programs and speakers and workshops for our small business. I'm going to cruise right into the Penny for Pasco in the interest of time. You also have in your packets the metrics for each of the individual items that we do, but you can stop me if you've got a question on this. This is the ribbon cutting for Smitech, the company out of the UK. The gentleman with the tie and the shorts on is the inventor.
Oh, boy.
And very much an inventor, but he is now located as a Pasco County company, and that is at the Wesley Chapel Grove Center. Ready Sites got included in 40 responses this year in RFPs for companies looking for a site to locate. MyTech is now starting to do their groundwork. If you've been out to Bauduco, Bauduco's gone vertical. We got a lot of vertical stuff going on right now. That was probably one of the biggest highlights as well, too, that I need to mention, is Bauduco coming to us and saying, we're not just going to build what we said we were going to build, we're going to expand beyond that. And that was a reflection of the welcome that they had from this community and the ease in doing business and the cost savings they have by moving here. We had 29 different site inquiries, 40 responses I mentioned before in RFPs for ready sites, 27 presentations to developers, site selection consultants for projects for those sites. So you remember it took us a good 5 years to get that site program up and going, but now we've had Amazon's Robotics Center, we've had Bauduco, we've had MyTech, we've had several now that are taking advantage of the sites that we've prepared. So it's got traction, it's getting legs, and people are looking at it. Internationally, we convened a roundtable with our local partners, including the port and airport, see what the trends are, what trade lanes they're looking for that our companies can take advantage of, and where we might go on missions to do some of those business connections in the future. Also, we have now 2 free trade zones in Pasco County. I don't know if everyone realizes that, but HIP Promotions, which was one of the spec buildings next to Gary Line out in northwest Pasco, is the first free trade zone that we've had in quite some time here in Pasco County. And we just signed Freedom sales to a free trade zone also. So now we have 2 that are free trade zones, and we can do that with other businesses too. Free trade zone doesn't mean that the land is a zone. We can actually make the land inside somebody's building a free trade zone. So if you're interested in that, send them our way, or if you know people that are interested. Export counseling sessions, spoke to 55 unique companies, helping them to find markets overseas. We had 2 outbound trade missions where we take the companies abroad, and 8 trade events over the year. Enhanced marketing, again, the hits that we were getting on the website were partially a reflection of that, but peer recognition too. So the awards that we got earlier with the IEDC and the FEDC were all centered around how we're doing in marketing compared to our peers around the United States. Reminder, there's 16,000 agencies that do what we do in the United States. So getting awards from the cream of the crop means a lot to us and to my team, and I'm really proud of them for that too. And our Workforce Connect program continues to help people where it really makes the most difference, and that's the jobs and making sure that our employers can access the jobs. Even with all the people moving here, we still need to make sure we get the right person for the right job, and Workforce Connect does that for them. Smart Start, again, we're able to be part of the Scallop Fest this last year, and we had some of our vendors, or our kitchen incubator members came out and served some food, and I think you also had Dre again.
Chef
doing
was awesome.
Doing awesome stuff, some jerk scallops I think we had.
He had an open grill going with the Point Distillery spiced rum combination. Was phenomenal. But he was engaged with all the people there, did a great job.
What a great way to market Pasco County, too. And right before lunch, where we're all getting hungry. We also had a hands-on workshop at AmSkills during this last quarter, and our co-starters for causes graduated as well, too. We had the second cohort come through of nonprofits that we teach them how to scale their business. All in all, Smart Start and the incubators, really busy, 1,473 participants. My hometown was only 1,200 people. That's a lot of people that have come through the doors of Smart Start over the past year. We have 88 members right now, and that's across the 3 locations and countywide. We gave out 4 microloans, totaling $101,000. We've got probably about $2.5 million on the street doing work right now through the microloan program. And we've provided 454 individual counseling sessions with those companies that were stuck or needed help. And that's the team. We've got 1 new team member since I saw you last, and his name is Tomas, and he's out in our Dade City incubator, comes to us from Colombia. and works really well since our incubator there is in Tommytown and largely Spanish-speaking area. So we're really thrilled to have him on board. But I will stop there for questions in the interest of
Well,
time.
if I could, if any questions of the board, if you can hold on them, because we've got a presentation still that's coming up right behind it, unless you really want to press on it, Commissioner.
I just want to say one thing.
Sure, Commissioner
I just
Stark.
want to make sure you know, we participated in the EDA grant for, what was it? No, David, gosh, he just contacted me yesterday, the WAVE. So they're going for a big EDA grant that has to do with McDill and SoftWorks and all that. So we gave, I think, $100,000 because they have to, it's a matching grant.
Yeah, we signed a support letter for
Yeah.
it as well, too.
Yeah, so we hope for good things out of that.
And the WAVE is an accelerator, so a little bit different than what we do in the incubator. It's for the next level.
Great.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you
very much.
again.
Appreciate it.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, R74, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Yes, R74 is the quarterly investment summary report for the quarter that ended September 30th, 2025, which is the end of the county fiscal year. We have coming up to the podium Sean Gannon. He is the Institutional Sales and Relationships Manager with PFM. PFM manages a portion of the investment portfolio. And we also have Matt Lazar. He is the Finance Director of my office, and he and his team also manage the other portion of the investment portfolio. So I will go ahead and hand it off and let the gurus give you the update.
All right.
Great, thank you. So, for the makeup of the presentation, I'll give a brief market update. Matt will come in and talk a little bit about the overall investments, and I'll come in specifically with the regards to the portfolio that we manage. But this slide here is a good quick hits, a good highlights for what we've seen recently in the markets. And just to recall, the portfolio that we, PFM Asset Management, we manage for you all is operating funds, it's capital reserves, it's short term. It's not related to pensions, so there's no stocks in there. It's very dependent on labor news, macroeconomic news, as well as the Fed. So I'll talk a bit about that as well. But the overarching story, the overarching story recently has been about the labor market. And I actually thought Mr. Cronin's example was fantastic, because what we've seen here and what he touched on in Pasco County is actually happening across the country. There are corporations moving and coming in places, but they're not hiring as many people. The data that we used to get from the Bureau of Labor Statistics has not been as readily available with the government shutdown and issues there. So we've had to start relying on private data sources such as ADP, and actually Indeed.com does a study that they do where they point to new postings and then different data points they collect on whether there's a salary listed in the posting or not. So the trend has been mildly concerning when it comes to labor, and that's really been the driving force for the Fed's policy. And if you recall, the Fed policy dictates a lot of the investments that we touch, that Matt and his team manage, because it impacts interest rates. And in the short-term fixed income world, they move pretty quickly. When the Fed makes movements, yields on short-term bonds also move quickly. So they're actually meeting today. So they meet today and tomorrow, the final meeting of the year, and they will decide what they're going to do with interest rates. There was yesterday about a 95% chance they were going to cut interest rates. So the expectation is that they will do that third and final cut of the year tomorrow. What this does, and the impact this will have, is as ad valorem receipts come in, as new investments are made, those investments are going to be made at 25 basis points or 0.25% lower than we would have been able to make them today or yesterday. So that's the main impactor here happening, in regards to your portfolio. And on the next slide here, I'll touch on the yield curve, and not to go too in depth here, but you see that it's shaped like a Nike swoosh. That's because there is a lot of pressure downward on interest rates with the expectations of jobs being cut. There is challenges in the labor market. Folks have uncertainty, so when there's uncertainty, they often don't load up on salaried employees. It's difficult to, not to be insensitive, but difficult to cut an employee when you started paying them a salary. So it's a cost that a lot of folks are not willing to take on in the current moment. But we'll see if that changes here once the ship rights itself. And pretty brief on the market update, but do you all have any questions before I pass it back to Matt to talk about the portfolio?
No? Carry on.
Perfect. Matt Lazar, Finance Director. So, Madam Clerk, I realize next time we should bring a giant check because we can put cool numbers on there. That'll probably help this conversation for next time. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to marry the report you're seeing here to the quarterly summary investment that is part of your board packet.
It's not as effective when it's their money.
They'll be excited. I haven't got there yet, though. It's unexpected, so you'll be excited.
That's right.
So what you're seeing here presented, if we start in the top left, you're seeing the diversification of the portfolio that the clerk's office manages, and that is from a high level, the different investment partners that we work with closely, including PFM, having those conversations and making sure that we're also diverse in where those investments go. There's two different types of diversification. We don't just want to say we're diverse and show you different investment partners. We do get the data to show where that investment is going, and that is important because we don't want to be too oversaturated in one market. We want to kind of spread out any impacts, especially when the Fed is meeting and they don't give us a lot of information. We want to ensure we minimize any impacts that we have there. So that is from the diversification perspective. As we go lower down on that chart, you're going to see that is the county's investment portfolio, which currently stands at $1.9 billion. You have the unrestricted portfolio, which is $1.3 billion, and then restricted from the means of, we'll look at it as from debt service perspective, of about $500. So when you look at those two numbers, a large chunk of the county's portfolio currently sits as unrestricted, not meaning it's not committed to a certain special revenue project, but that is deemed unrestricted from debt service. So we look closely at that information, obviously in compliance with Florida statute, as well as the county's investment policy that gives us the four corners of where we manage the investments. We look at the different cash flows, right? We know at the beginning of a fiscal year, we see an influx of revenues from tax revenues. So being ahead of the game so we can make those investment decisions to maximize what the county is going to receive in return. And this is where that cool check would come into play, because for the past quarter four, ended September 30, the county experienced $13 million in realized earnings, with just over $11 million of that being in the unrestricted portfolio. And for the fiscal year, I'm just so excited, I guess. The fiscal year that ended September 30, we saw a total of $80 million in realized earnings. Over 66% of that was within the unrestricted portfolio. And
How much was that?
66%, so just over, it was 80 million total for the year. And then it's about 53 million in unrestricted funds. And we heard you loud and clear at the last meeting, so I can actually give you some more details, right? The general fund, of that 53 million, or 80 million total, $12 million went to the general fund this year. As you guys are aware, interest earnings they're in flux. You don't know what that's going to be. So that is the county wisely budgets very conservatively. So the budget for those group of funds was $4 million. So over budget, 3 times more went into the general fund than what was budgeted. So
I don't recall this in any of my budget hearings. Do any of you? I don't remember hearing anything about this. Thank you very much.
I am so sorry.
That's
So
okay.
there's that.
That would be the check to bring.
Yeah, that's what I'll see. Now you guys would have been impressed with the giant check.
I'm hearing millage rate reductions is what I'm hearing.
That didn't come from the clerk's office. So,
Maybe we
but
can fix
that
it
also, what we do from the clerk's office as interest earnings come in, that is quarterly, we take a look at those interest earnings, and those are allocated to the different funds. So it would make sense that the general fund would see a large chunk of those earnings because it goes based off the equity that a fund puts in. The general fund is a large operating fund, so it's going to see that large increase. Along with the fire services MSTU, which also saw about another, I want to say $3 million in revenues from just the interest earnings side. So that we've heard you at the last board meetings, kind of where does that money go? That is where those sit as we go through the quarterly process. So I will pause there, and you can pretend I had the big check, but any questions before I move to the next slide here?
Any questions?
I had one question.
Mr. Starkey?
What's a Florida Palm?
That is a local government investment pool, similar to the Florida Trust or
Okay,
Florida
I
Prime.
know what that is, but it's called Palm?
Yes, it is the investments that the schools
Oh,
created.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when that was crashing, when I was chair of the school board, and I had to make a decision whether to keep the school board's money in or not.
Well, it's high performing now.
Yeah. We stayed in, we kept it from crashing, Pasco County, and we got our money back. Okay.
That was when I think everything was crashing.
That was
SBA
really
was
bad.
crashing.
Like 207,
Yeah.
208, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, hurt us
Yeah.
bad right here.
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough times.
All right, next slide.
All right. On the next slide, this will be really brief. This is just the county's investment policy in picture form. So in the gray outline bars, that is the restriction of the different sectors of investments that the county allows per the policy. Shaded in blue is where the county sits as of September 30th. So you can see we're well within the allowable limits for the various investments. And that is a big part of monitoring cash flows, because as money comes in, that can really shift those bars a lot. So making sure we're putting in different buckets as necessary. So we monitor cash flow, which you'll see in Schedule 2 of that investment packet. And then if you had any other questions or want to see further detail, Schedule 5 goes into further detail on the different types of investments, especially when it comes to different investment pools, local government investment pools. I will turn it back over to Sean unless you guys have any other questions for me.
Any questions? Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And Commissioner Starkey, the reason you may not recognize Florida Palm is because it went through a name change. So it used to be Florida Education Investment Trust Fund,
Yeah.
and it was created in 2010. So
I'm thinking you were probably thinking with the SBA when it.
SBA is the one that exploded.
That was the one that exploded and.
Broke the buck.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
get your money out, like they had
Yeah.
locked it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we stayed in. Yeah,
Yeah.
stabilized it. Yeah.
So just to touch on this slide, I know we're short on time, but the two data points that I want to touch on are yield at cost and yield at market here. So they're in that top left table. They're kind of a few lines down, but yield at cost represents a number where it is actual earnings expected from the portfolio, the longer duration fixed income portfolio that we manage. Yield at cost represents if on 9/30, when this report was generated, what would the market give for that mix of securities that you see in the top right? So that's the diversified, the different sectors that would be. So as you can see, your portfolio is outperforming pretty handily when it comes to the comparison of yield at cost, or actual represented yield versus the yield at market. So a nice number we like to see there. It's expected to continue to decline as interest rates move downward, and there's reinvestments, and there's maturities and paydowns. So that number, the yield at market number, moves more quickly. It changes every single day. Yield at cost changes on a trade date, if there is a maturity, a purchase, a sale, something like that. And to look at the performance numbers for the quarter, 1 year, and other various time metrics, just to touch on this briefly, there is outperformance in the all aspects of the total return here. Matt touched on interest earnings, so I'll be fairly brief on this slide. The real benefiters to or additory sectors were corporate notes. So historically, they've given around 50 to 60 basis points of spread above a treasury. So a treasury is yielding 4%. A corporate note often will yield somewhere around 4.5%. So being able to diversify across sectors by different names, very high credit quality, AA, single A, AAA, has been very beneficial to the performance of the county's portfolio. And again, last, just look at this portfolio specifically. This is the interest income, the accrued interest income for the portfolio that PFM manages. This does not include the restricted funds that Matt alluded to. This does not include any of the LGIP balances. So this is just the portfolio. And one note, we have worked very closely with staff to ensure that As interest rates are expected to decline, we are taking a look at liquidity, taking a look at upcoming projects, and determining if we can put any funds further out and lock up higher interest rates before we expect interest rates to move downward, which is where everybody really expects them to go. You saw the yield curve, you saw that the Fed, again, meeting today and tomorrow, everybody is kind of on this downward trajectory. So as we look to extend duration in aggregate, and as we look to add to this portfolio, to hopefully retain some of these budgeted interest income numbers, because they will be coming down as interest rates come down. And that's just a natural function of the cyclicality of the interest rate market. So with that, I'll wrap up unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Okay. Well, great news. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. I know for years we've been working on this, but it's going great right now, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll break for lunch, back at 1:30.
Okay. I'm going to a funeral, so someone.
Legal. If you suspect an illicit discharge, please contact Pasco County Department of Public Works at 727-834-3611.